Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. I've been watching Game of Thrones, House of the Dragons, and I have to apologise. I am tardy. I have been tardy about getting the review out, and I was somewhat tardy about doing this review. I was late doing it. I kind of rushed through it. I do apologise, right? My life's somewhat been taken over by the finale of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who, which is going to be probably very bad, and I will take a lot of piss out of it. So yeah, that's where my focus has been this week, so I apologise this is late coming. But finally we got it out just before the final episode's aired. I like House of the Dragon, right? I didn't like it in the first episode. I grew to like it. Why didn't I like the first episode? Because I thought it was a very on-the-nose Paul Roe v. Wade analogy, right? And I'm just kind of really tired of hearing about the plight of being a woman in 2022 America, right? I'm just really, it seems to be somewhat of a privileged position to be in. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that turned me off the show initially, but then Paddy Considine completely won me over. That was really the only thing about it that I didn't like. But I'm enjoying it now. It's very good. It's by far the best thing on TV, but that's not really saying much. It doesn't have any real competition, does it? Sadly, the television landscape is a bit of a wasteland now. In 2022, no, it has been since 2017. Let's be fair. But yeah, I would say House of the Dragon stands head and shoulders above everything else. How does it compare against real classics like the first 4 or 5 seasons of Game of Thrones, Westworld? I love Westworld. Man, I've just really got back into Westworld in a big way. Sopranos. That's Boardwalk Empire. It's to me, it's lesser than all those things. Mad Men, it's lesser than all of those things. But again, in the Valley of the Blind, the one-eyed man is king. And now the dragon is the one-eyed man. Not to denigrate it, because it's very good, right? It is very good in lots and lots of ways. I would say overwhelmingly very good. So I'm going to talk a little about it, because as I said, when I did the review, I rushed the review, and I do apologize, but I just had to get it out, baby. I got to get it out. So before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very good. I am very grateful for you liking, sharing, and subscribing. That is Fandabby. Yes, you guessed it. Fandabby Double Dozy. Thank you very much. Sign up my Substack. It's in the video notes. It's my email newsletter where you can keep updated to my scintillating output, which I put out every day if I'm banned from YouTube, which I'm amazed that hasn't happened yet, but that's going to happen at some point. You'll be able to find me on Rumble, but you'll be able to find me through Substack, my email newsletter. So, and again, it's free, baby. It's free. Look, to the Jewish mind, we can't understand somebody saying no when we hear the word it's free. That's why we don't have all-you-can-eat buffets in Israel. I live in Israel. And look, I'm not joking, right? All-you-can-eat buffets just confuse us. We're like, well, I paid. I got to eat all until I die. So, that's just the way it goes. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm not sure how I got into that reasonably racist diatribe. Thankfully, I'm Jewish, so I think I just got away with it. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. This might be the reason I get banned from YouTube. Talking honestly about me, which I do a lot. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very good. What I do like about House of the Dragon is the inevitability of disaster, right? The inevitability of misery. House of Dragon is all about a Targaryen civil war, which essentially ended the era of dragons. And now I know something about the protagonist, kills them all too, right? It worked out badly for everyone, and it was inevitable. Well, somewhat inevitable as things plodded along. We had, the show started off, we had, what's his name? They all sound the same to me. Honestly, Viserys, they're all saying. We had Paddy Considine was the king, right? His wife he very much wants his wife to have a boy. She pushes him to have a kid. She dies in childbirth, mainly because he orders a C-section, which kills her. In the hopes that it will save the baby. No, they're both dead, and he's racked with guilt for that. Like that defines his character. And again, having an actor with so much layer and substance as Paddy Considine made this show for me. Absolutely made this show for me, because he created this character, and that I think is the absolute pillar of this character. Because of that, he he names his daughter the heir to the throne instead of his brother, which gives the a little bit untraditional because she's a lady, and Matt Smith, his brother, is a boy. So again, in the early episodes, it's leaning into identity politics to quite some extent, which I'm not a fan of at all. Right, not a fan of it at all. But it developed into something good. Amazingly, this is the difference with things are done with talent, right? And there's a lot of talent, on display with this. So again, it's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. He names his daughter the successor of the king. He marries his daughter's best friend, and then has a couple of boys, which causes much strife in the kingdom. So you got the new queen, Alison, the best friend, or the ex-best friend of the daughter, basically has a big turn halfway through when he says, when her father, the Hand of King, Otto, says to her, "Listen, you stupid little girl, when the king dies, there's going to be a civil war, and all that could happen is Rhaenyra, the king's daughter, will kill you and your children." He may be right, but I don't know. I think they all could have pulled together and avoided that happening. But that was the where the die was cast, and how much of it was Otto Hightower's protection of the realm, protection of his daughter, protection of his family, and how much of it was his avarice for power. That honesty, that reality within it, I think really makes this show incredible, right? Again, it is the inevitability of disaster, right? Because from that moment on, everybody thinks they're fighting for their lives, and when they're fighting for their lives, they will fight, right? Which is where we get to tonight. The king's just died. The Queen Alicent has thought that his last words were say that she wants to name his son king rather than his daughter, and a coup goes down, right? That is essentially the bones of this episode, and it's a reasonably terrifying coup in of that brilliantly told, with everybody seeing themselves as the hero fighting for their very existence, which which is just realistic to me, right? Well, something else realistic is when this coup does happen, the coups break into two groups, right? It's the chaos, right? The chaos of war, where you're faction on faction upon faction, fighting with each other. It's never really captured well on TV. This is like much better for books, but I think they're doing a great job. So it leads us to this really very tense episode tonight. Very sad episode, somewhat beautiful episode. Fantastic ending. Oh man, do I love the ending, right? Where everything could have been saved, but for an act of mercy, right? And I like that moral ambiguity going through it. You don't have anything even vaguely close to that in the television landscape of today. So huzzah for House of the Dragon. I'm glad it's got a second season. I'm glad we got one more episode to go. This show is so much easier to review than any other the dreck I've been watching. Star Wars and really. Right, I mean, why am I watching such a street level view of the Star Wars life under the Empire in Star Wars that I'm literally spending about 20 minutes watching somebody walk up and down the aisles at a supermarket buying blue milk? It is the most boring piece of garbage known to man, but that is Shakespeare compared to power, the Rings of Power. Oh God. Absolute agony. So, in the Valley of the Blind Man, the Blind Man, the One-Eyed Man is king. House of the Dragon is the One-Eyed Man. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the season ends. So join me as I go through the episode from last night. Again, I apologize. It was a bit rushed. I've been trying to get to this. Finally, it's there. I will spend more time on the finale, and I'll do a full series wrap-up and review. Let me hand over to me from my live stream last night. We got to talk about House of the Dragon, which is fucking awesome this week, right? Fucking awesome. Knocked it out the park. Only had one horrible woke moment the whole season. Love it to bits, right? House of Dragon is very good. I don't like the theme tune, right? And the title's bit naff, but I don't really care, right? I think, couldn't they have some battling dragons or something? Dance of Dragons. But okay, House of the Dragon. Dun 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 dun. And get your own fucking theme tune, mate. Okay, don't nick other people's theme tunes, right? Nice quiet opening, right? Nice quiet opening when you see King's Landing, at dawn, right? And you can see the little boy going across. It's again nicely framed, right? This whole episode, and you have the tension build up nicely. And they say what happens. They form the queen, and they're like, only the boy knows, right? So Rhys Evans is the cunt of the show, right? He's the one that destroys the whole world, right? He convinces the queen that they're going to kill her and her king, her and her kids to get rid of any challenge. Maybe she's right, but it didn't seem that's the case, right? But that's why they basically plot to go to war, right? So she says, last night he told me that he wanted his son, my son, to be king, right? And really, it's just a garbled message that she didn't understand. And again, I like the how tragedy in the world is made by just idiot misunderstandings, right? I think it's very cool. So there, it's oh man, first of the great scenes. Right, you have a small council meeting where they tell what's happened, and they said, okay, we're going to usurp the queen, we're going to usurp the king's daughter, and we're going to install my son on the throne. And he's like, Bill Patterson's like, what the fuck? What's going on, right? We can't do this. And she's like, no. And so he actually puts up a real stand, right? It's like, the king is, you're full of shit, darling. Right, you're full of shit, right? And then Kristen Cole comes up behind him and says, "Sit down, right? Just sit down." Boom! Accidentally, I think, kills him. Like clunks his head on his dragon eye thing, and he's brown bread, right? Not the first, not the last to go. I like what's his name, Ray McTavish, right? He's like, "Tuck your sword down, right?" And he's like, well, no one's going anywhere till we work this out. So basically, it turns out they've been planning this for years. So Ray McTavish takes off his cloak and says, look, until there's a king, I'm sworn to the king. Until there's a king, I'm out of here. Right? I don't want anything to do with this shit. I am dumb, baby. I am dumb beyond dumb. Kristen Cole has become cunt man, right? At this point, he's totally cunt man, as I would call him. So this is just, oh god, you see how off the Queen Allison is. The Queen Allison. I'm sorry if I'm not recapping everything. I just can't. Come on, mate. It's the end of the season. These are her two kids that when she could have solved everything. This could have solved absolutely everything. She should have married the strong boys, the guy who was supposed to be king. What's his name? Strong, who they're bastards, but no one's allowed to say it, right? That's basically the gist of the last episode. So instead, those two kids could have got married, right? And that would have sealed the breach, and they would have had one one bloodline. It would have solved fucking everything. But instead, she makes her daughter marry her brother. And this is just the kids have, and it's really gross, right? It's really gross. So they need to find the kid. They need to find her husband. He's like, I don't know. He's never bloody here, thank God. And it's like, well, this is really important, right? And Eamon turns up, who's turned into a great character, right? You know shit's going to go down with him, right? I've read a little bit ahead. So this is a good important bit. You have these two twin brothers that are sent to find the king for the hand, and they got very similar names. Meanwhile, she wakes up, Valerian, right? Valerian, and she's locked in her room, right? She's like, "What the hell's going on?" And she sees all the servants of the King's Dead is being put into a dungeon by the uber creepy what's the name, Strong, who killed his brother and his father to please the Queen several years ago. So Kristen Cole and Aemon Targaryen are sent out to find what's his name, whatever the new king was, who was played by David Tennant's son, who's apparently adopted, yet looks very much like David Tennant, right? So we have them like sleuthing through the town, trying to find his brother. So they go to a brothel, and he's like, it doesn't go Miriam, it's not dirty enough for him, right? And she mentions how they have shagged before, right? And he's come back anytime. So I think basically that was who he lost his virginity with. So meanwhile, Otto Hightower has called all the lords together and said the king is dead, so the king's now my grandson, not who it's supposed to be. And he's like, no, I'm going to confer with my house. And they're like, no, you can't do that. This is the bloke who they brought in the Big Finish Torchwood. He's quite a good actor. I liked him. And so they're like, they take them out to be killed, and he's like, yeah. So he bows, right? He's like, this is not looking good. Meanwhile, they searching for what's the name, the Queen's son, and she knows where he is. So she goes to find these two identical twin brothers. And there's a really sick thing. You got these like fighting pits of children, which are just, I mean, like, okay, that's just kind of gross, but okay. I found it a little bit gratuitous and no real need for it. Said, yeah, this is the sort of thing the king likes. You know, what's the name? The Queen's son likes. Basically, they're about to split up. One's going to support the Greens. One's going to support the Blacks, right? And he says, look over there, like one of the king's, not the king, one of the king's sons, many bastards, right? So he's like, I got to get out of here. This is dangerous. So they keep going, looking around, and said, look, he shouldn't be king, right? He doesn't know anything about history. He hasn't learned anything. I've done all that. Reason we can't find him because we're decent men, right? So meanwhile, the gates are being opened. He's like, I'm on my horse. I got to get out of here. Says, if you're looking, I know you're looking for, bring your master to us and we'll work it out, right? Gates open up, but too late. They grab him, right? They grab him, and they say, the interrogator say, "Look, where were you going?" And he's schmuck, right? This guy's a schmuck. You know, he should have just said the truth, right? The truth is this: away from here. There's coups going on. I could get loose my head any second. I'm running the fuck away. You win, okay? But they take him out to be hanged, right? We find it is hanged later. Meanwhile, the king's body is still being wrapped. And leave his crown on his chest. The good thing about this is everybody has genuine emotions, right? Like, and she was against. Was it her father wanted to have the instantly have everybody killed, right? And she's like, no. She loved her daughter, and and her son. Like, you can't just go and kill them. Right, and so she that's why she's got people. She's why got Kristen Cole and Eamon looking for her son. Well, the Hand's got those two blokes looking for him. Right, the two factions trying to find him. So she goes and tries to talk down Valeria and said, "Listen, if you just join me, all could be good." Right, and it's a bit of an interesting scene that said, "Listen, you basically you're trying to be queen." And basically she leaves. Okay, you got to just do here. Meanwhile, they're still searching for him. Oh, and so this was the character that what's his name again? Matt Smith. What's his character? I thought is he Aemon Targaryen as well? No, this one's Aemon, and the other one's Aemon, I think. Well, yeah, this was his main squeeze in the first couple of episodes. She's become like this underground information broker, right? Again, very Games of Thronesy type character, right? So she knows where it is, and she's selling it to Otto Hightower. She says, "Fine, I want the money, but also we got to get these kid fights stopped, right? These kid fights are gross." So he's been hidden in the sept, or where it is, sept, I don't know, some church. They find him there. He's drunk. He's like, I don't want to be king. Leave me alone. Right? I renounce it. And then Kristen Cole finds him, and they end up fighting for him. Good scene, by the way. Good fights. and Aemon grabs him, and this is where they divide the two brothers divide loyalties. I reckon this is going to be a major plot point next season. So they're taken to her mother. And he said, "Look, I gotta, but you can't like just kill everybody, okay? You're not just going to do wholesale murder to the whole family. The king never wanted that." So again, I like there's all these factions. So then we have this other, again, just like what a scene. This is her like spy master, and he's like saying there's a web of intrigue, of information web that your father uses, right? We can just arrest everybody. So he says, like, you really need to tell about it. But then it turns into like a quite of a strange scene where she takes her shoes off, right, and puts her feet on the table. He knows that she's really very much in defeat, obviously. Fine. So then she takes her stocking feet off. He's like, "Oh God!" And she turns around and leaves her toes out, and he just starts whacking himself off. Right? He cannot control himself. He really likes that, and she's like, "Well, I guess that'll get him to do the job for me then." Right? Meanwhile, he's woken up and eaten. And she's come to tell him the way it's going to be. Meanwhile, the Erica Ulrich, whoever it is, comes to rescue her. This is going to lead to that most awesome scene. Poor guy, like he just wanted to run. Being hung. It's quite well hung, guys, from what I hear. So they sneak out into King's Landing. And this must be where the kid fights were. They're burning down now. They're being taken care of. And as they try and get out, a huge crowds come, and they're forced one way, then the next, and eventually they're separated, right? And meanwhile, he's being taken to to be crowned. It's like, my dad never wanted me king. My dad didn't really like me much. She's like, he said, no, your dad wanted to be king. And to prove it, that he shows that she gives him this dagger, like the king's dagger. He says he wanted you to have it. He says, "Mother, do you love me?" And she's like, "You're an idiot. You're just an absolute idiot." Meanwhile, we're going to the big finale, right? She's being pushed to the crowd, and she finds out she's going to the dragon pit. She's like, "Oh!" Because her dragon's being kept inside the dragon pit. So it's like, okay, I guess this is going to work out good for me, right? So in they go, and it's the coronation. So the king is dead, but he chose a new king, and they're all there, right? Everybody's bloody there. Out walks the king's son, and he's like, I guess I'm going to be king there. Not really thrilled about this. And basically, this means everyone's going to die, right? This is just a bad idea for everyone, but it's just what happens. And I think basically, it's really about Otto Hightower wanting their power more than anything else, right? They're all lustful about power, right? So she slips off down there while he's coronated by Kristen Cole. He gets the name Kingmaker because of this, right? And he's like, "Arise, King of the Andals, first men," right? And he lifts up the sword of his great grandfather, Aegon the Conqueror or whatever. They all cheer, it's all going, yeah, then bush, right? Big explosion. Out comes a dragon. Yeah, we get some dragon porn this episode, right? This is fucking awesome. Absolutely awesome, right? Out they come. And she's got her dragon, right? She's got a dragon. They could all die at any second, right? She could just say Dracarys, and it's all over, right? And she should do that. And they all know she could do that, right? They expect her to do that. And it's about to happen, but then he just screams at them, right? And she wants to know, like, Shay, listen, I've shown you mercy. Maybe we can find a way back from this, right? Off she flies. Although she could have ended the whole thing now. But, we want to see next season, right? We're on next season as he flies off. Dun, 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 dun. So, awesome episode, right? Just crazily awesome. I love how, you know, you have all these rich layered character stories going on that match the history that I've read, that also have extra layers to it too. Like, you know, it's I love that they what's the name? What's her name again? Rhaenyra Targaryen. That her first husband was bent as a dog's back leg. Was totally gay, couldn't have any kids, and he was supposed to die in a fight. But it turns out that he died that they burned a burned body was said it was him, but it was actually him doing a runner, right, to start a new life. I guess with a in a stunning and brave, a very gay way, right? My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.